Hello, welcome back to my channel, and here I am with another videos. Always when I turn on the microphone and sit in front of my computer, it is a pleasure for me because I'm going to show you how you can do certain work related to upholstery. And this is not in the section. You see the center console? Well, on this video I will show you how you can do that. For those who have been working on this trade for a long time ago, this is nothing. They know this by memory. So, but for those who are learning, this video it is special for you. I will put a two chrome on the front to center console. The customer don't want me to scroll this center console to the floor, and most of the time I don't scroll to the floor. I will show you how you can do that. This is the pattern that I made at a chipboard, and I will take it to the table and cut them on wood. The wood that I will use is a 1/2 inch thickness. It's not a heavy wood. I don't recommend you to use a heavy wood. There are some plywood that are so heavy. Don't use those ones. If you're going to use a compressed wood on this something like this, it is perfect. I'm going to use a mini circular blades or cutter because this project is not that big. You can use a jigsaw, any tool that you had to cut wood will be fine. See, I just cut them right there, and I will cut it right here. When I have to cut it straight in a small project, I always use this tool. I buy this tool on Home Depot, and then when it's a curve, I always use the jigsaw, like always. And then I will use to cut that line. I will use the mini circular you see how I'm changing the tool? I can cut all that with just with the jigsaw. So I got that piece. I'm going to cut one more piece. I'm not going to show you 100% how you can do this project. The easy thing, I will ignore it, and I think you will get how to do the easy thing. I got the wood in there. I put just one piece of wood, and I put the other piece on the other side, and it's getting shape, as you can see right there. So simple, right? So far so good. I'm going to make a cut on that wood right there. I screw those two wood together to cut them on one time. As you can see right there, I done cutting. Now I take it to the router table because I'm going to taper, kill those edges in there, just the inside. The purpose of doing this is because when I'm going to wrap it with leather, because I'm going to use leather, will be easier. Other way I might have to put a stitch in there. See? And it looked way better than how it was. If you don't have a router, you can sand that piece with the grinder, but it will take you way longer. And then after I done with the router, I take it to a table and I put a wood glue. That piece of wood that you see me that I'm stapling, that is 2 inches. Sometimes that piece of wood is 2 inches by 10, 2 inches by 12. All depend how many thin the customer wanna add it into the center console. and the rear piece of wood is 2 inches, sometimes it is by 7, no bigger than 10. And because I am not going to screw the center console to the car, are 3 ways how you can hold the center console to the car. This is one of them. No screw. It's so important, those pieces of wood. Look the shape that it have. That will grab, will hold on that center bump. Other way, I might have to do something else with a flat piece of wood and screw it to the car. And there is one more thing how you can do it without putting the screw. You can see them right there, a little by little, right? It's not heavy at all. I take it to the car and look that wood. So important when you are not going to put a screw. Other way, like I said before, if the customer want a screw, I had to do something differently, but it's shown right there. And I add a piece of material on the bottom because I had to make sure this center console go in easily and go out easily. The 2 cup holder will be right there. The customer is going to put a chrome cup holder. I'm just going to use those black one because the customer is going to buy a different one. I take it to the table and I cut that piece of wood in there. That piece of wood is a little bit bigger, but I will trim later on with the router table. See, you can see it's a little bit bigger, but I will trim it. I will take it to my router, and then I'm going to cut this one. I didn't show you how to cut it, the last one. There will be the 2 cup holder, like I say, will be chrome cup holder, nice cup holder, but I will use those one for right now. I divided that wood by 2, draw a line, and then because the customer wants the 2 cup holder, I will divide it by half. And I will put a mark in the center. Then I divide that half by another half. And then the cup holder will be on that position. I have to make those cuts that hold the wood. Use a vice script. And then I will use that cutter. So simple and easy with this tool. Of course, you can do this with a jigsaw, but it's so easy using this kind of tool. See, like nothing, huh? Tool, it is very important. A lot of people don't want to spend money on tool. But I'm the opposite way. I love to have the right tool, and there is. And this is the other piece, and I will do almost the same thing. Divide it by half, divide that piece of wood on, and then I will put that bend in there. The customer wants 2. Sometimes the customer on that piece of wood they want the stereo. And I do the same thing. I have it right there. And I will take it to the router again. I adjust the router. I made this table for that router. I think I have a video. I think. I'm going to cut a little bit, so I will just route it a little one more time. And there is. Now we'll take it to the table and put glue, wood glue. Always put a wood glue. No matter if you're going to add a speaker on that center console or you are not, always put a wood glue. Make it stronger. And I hold that wood with a staple. I hold the center console to the table and I use a router. Always cover your face, your nose, your eye when you are using this kind of tool. And not necessarily this tool, any tool to cut wood. That with the router I make a smooth that part. I will add a piece of wood right there. That blackboard is just like a pattern to cut the wood. I am not going to show you how you can cut the wood because it is easier. I just make sure that black board get in there because I will have to draw a line on the center and you can see it. It looks nice, huh? Wait until it get done. This is very important. I am not going to cut it all the way through it. I put a mark, the center of the router. I put a mark on the wood, and I replace the drill. And I am cutting. And pay attention right there. I will stop before the end. See the mark? It has to line with the other mark. And I stop right there. And that is so simple. You can do this without the router table. And I will put font. 1/4 of an inch headliner font. That's the font what I will use. You can use a sailcloth font. A lot of people use a sailcloth font. And you can use 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. I don't recommend you go wider than 1/4 of an inch. I put glue. And then I will glue the sides first. Make sure to sand it really good, that wood, because any bump, any staple that is not all the way in or any screw that is not all the way in, you will see the bump through the font and you will see it through the material. So spend some time. Do it right and do it one. And I cut the font all around. And same thing right here. I don't need nothing to go over the edge. I just cut it around the edge. And I will put one layer on the top. Sometime on center console, I don't add a font. Not even a headliner, 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 headliner or closer font, nothing at all. All depends on the design that the customer wants. And sometimes, according to the design, when you add a font, it loses that design. It looks weird when you add a font. Sometimes, like I say, all depends on the design. On this design, it's not going to lose the shape if I add a font. 1/4 of an inch. that is the leather that I will use. Will be 100% leather, no vinyl. I just put a little bit of glue to hold the material till I mark it according to the shape of that wood. A lot of people put weights on top when they are drawing that. Let's cut it right here. And check this out. I go 1 inch in on the front, 1 inch in on the front. Then the rest, same thing on the back. 1 inch in the back too. And then I draw a line exactly following that edge and putting mark. I will put a 3 mark in there. The mark are so important because will guide you when you are sewing those pieces together. Same thing on the other side. Then I include the material and cut it. Always give it like 1/2 inch extra for the seam allowance. Always, always. Sometimes I give you 1/4 of an inch or 3/4. All depends what I am sewing. And I got that piece. Now I'm going to cut the side piece. So simple. I always put glue. A little bit, just enough to hold it. And I got that piece in there. And same thing. If you don't have enough leather or enough material, make sure to make a pattern. Then transform that pattern to the real material. And I draw around the edge. Put those marks. Then I unglue it and cut it. I'm going to show you how you can cut one, and I'm going to show you how you can cut the other side, because both sides are similar, are not the same, but are so similar. Why are not the same? Should be the same. Yes, should be the same, but the front part of the center console are not the same. And I got those pieces cut. I take it to a sewing machine, and then you will start sewing together. To do this, because it doesn't have a backing, a pattern form, you can sew it in a, I would say, industrial sewing machine, but those ones who sew are like Levi's or Blue Jean, those kind of machine. It's not necessary to have a upholstery sewing machine to sew these pieces together. And I am sewing the other piece. Make sure to those notches match each other. In case if it doesn't match, will look weird, will look crooked, and believe me, that will be not good. That will devalue your job. Because I'm going to put a French stitch, I take it to the post sewing machine. It's way easier doing a French stitch in a double needle machine. If it is a post machine, way better. So simple. But if you don't have a double needle or pulse machine, don't worry, you can do all this in a regular sewing machine. Will take you longer. Maybe that stitch will look a little bit crooked, but you don't have no option. I can put this double stitch on my regular sewing machine with not a problem. All about practicing. I just open up the material to the side and I keep sewing. And there it is. I'm not going to show you how you can do the other part, put the other French stitch. So then I put glue all around the center console. I can do this on two different ways, with a staple or with glue. I will use glue, but at the end I will put some staple, just making sure to reinforce. I don't want that center console coming undone later on. And that's, I would have glue already, and I will use the same thing right here, putting glue on that cover. Make sure to put enough glue if you are follow my instruction to do similar. And check this out, I don't want to glue the whole top. No, I just want to put glue on one area on there, and I put 2 pieces of wood just because I don't want to spill glue outside that area. And I pull it, making sure those match. Same thing right here, very important. Make sure that cover is centered right. Other way, you can cut it perfectly, sew it perfectly, but if you don't mount it right, it will look crooked, it will look weird. And you might think, I didn't cut it right or I didn't sew it right. And I pull it. Not that much. It is not necessary to pull it that much. Just enough to remove wrinkle to make it look nice. I will cut at the end all that excess material. I will cut them at the end. Right now I just cut them right here. If you are doing something like this, don't cut them all the way to the edge of the wood. No, don't cut it. Just 1/4 away from that edge. And I am gluing. This it is so critical. That area right there, that corner. I cut it, then I will create pressure and fold it. None of those cuts should see it from outside. If you see it from outside, you made it wrong. And you have to redo it. I'm going to unglue it right here just to remove that wrinkle. At the end, if you see like a small mark on the leather, I'm not meaning defect, because one is totally different. When the leather comes with a lot of defect, a lot of cut from behind, that's totally different. If you see like a small wrinkle or something like that, you can use hot air or steamer just to remove it. and I cut all the excess material. If you don't have a razor blade, just make sure to use a knife and sharpen it. Something that I forgot to mention, I know some of you noticed a long time ago, I paint the wood from inside. You can see it is black. All inside the center console it is black. I paint them on black. It look better. I forgot to mention that. And I am putting a staple holding the area of the center console. Why? Because it have pressure and I don't want that area to come in undone. And I will put a staple on some area of the center console. Not all around because it is not necessary. And now I am going to wrap this piece of wood with leather. I put glue on both sides. Then I put my finger creating pressure. Make sure that gluing down the leather in that area. No wrinkle. In case if you have some wrinkle, I remove it. I think this piece will look way better in a different color, but customer asked for that color. And I put glue around there. I am not going to fold that material all the way. I'm just going to glue it to the edge and I will cut them exactly around there. I don't want to fold it. It is wood. I put a lot of glue and that is not going to come in undone later on. Just going to cut it all around. I am not going to show you the other one, the other piece, because it's almost the same. And I wrap those pieces of wood with leather. Now I'm going to put them on right here. But before to put them in, I'm going to make those holes for the cup holder and for the air vent. Always when you're going to make cut those holes, make sure to cut it a little bit bigger, because when you put the material in there, it will get smaller. And when you try to put a cup holder, it won't go in. So make sure to, when you make those holes, it has to be a little bit bigger. How big it will be all depends how thickness the material that you're going to use. I'm going to cut them right there. I am not going to fold it. It is not necessary to fold it. Sometimes it is, but in this case, it's not necessary. I just cut it all around. inside edge. And same thing right there, that other one. And I'm going to do the same thing on the front. But first I will put this wood in there. I will put 6 screws, a small screw. Make sure if you are doing, follow my instruction to do one. Make sure that the screw don't go all the way through. Make sure has to be the smallest. I will put 2 on the front and 2 on the back, and then one I will put 2 on the middle, and not to hold in that piece of wood. And look how beautiful it is. You can see him on there, solid color. You can see the inside. Like I said before, the customer is going to replace those cup holders because he want a nice and beautiful chrome. I just used those one because the customer doesn't have that one what he wanted right now. He just ordered. And make sure when you are building a center console, make sure to open the glove box. If the center console is on the way and the glove box doesn't open, you have to do it differently. Maybe you have to change the design. But look how beautiful that center console look. Something easy. It's not hard compared to some other one. It's just something simple. On this video, I show you the whole process. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. If that was the case, don't forget to hit the like button. And any comment, leave it in the comment section of this video. Stay tuned for more videos related to upholstery, especially for all of those who are learning these trades. The purpose of my video is to give you an idea and save you time. That is the purpose of my video. If you are an expert working on this trade for decades, I know this video doesn't show you nothing new. But thank you so much for being here watching this video. See you on another video. Ciao, ciao.